We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Our guest is Metro Vice Mayor Jim Shulman. If you have a question or comment, he can take them. Lines wide open. We've got some that have already waited in hold. 737-7587. Anything about the pandemic, Metro's first phase, the property tax increase, or maybe a larger question like the last one we had, if we can help you with a Social Security question or something along the stimulus check or unemployment, give us a call. Let's go next to Vicky, I believe. Vicky, good morning. Hi, Vicky.
Good morning to both of y'all.
Good morning.
I have two questions.
Okay.
One is about the stimulus check.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some friends that have their stimulus check, but they don't have their ID or Social Security card because of this tornado.
Oh.
And another question I have about a lot of these places, like Safe Links, is lying to these people about trying to help them with their light bills and water bills and stuff. So y'all need to check into that too.
Okay. You want to handle that second one just with regard to maybe some of the tornado damage or folks in this thing and the fact that there's shysters out there. And I know there's certain Metro programs to help people with utilities. I don't know what NES is doing. Of course, they have their hands full right now.
Yeah, so there are different programs out there. There was a lot of money that came in to the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, and they're getting the money back out to local not-for-profits to help people who may still need, like rental assistance or help with utilities or whatever. I think you can call just the main number at the mayor's office. There used to be a special number set up. I know there's a special one for COVID-19, but if you're looking for help, if you're looking for some type of assistance, just call the main number at the mayor's office, 862-6000, 862-6000, and they can get you to the right place.
What about Metro Action Commission?
You can call the Metro Action Commission. You can call Metro Social Services. Any of those places should be able to get you the right help, the right place to get help. In terms of scammers, be very careful.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that going in. There's always scammers with a natural disaster, scammers with COVID-19, Nick. I mean, we all know that, so be very, very careful. But if you need help on any of that stuff, make the call. Again, call the mayor's office, call social services, call Metro Action Commission. Tell them what you're looking for and see if they can get you to the right place to get help.
Yeah, it's good advice. And even if someone's calling you misrepresenting themselves and you're not sure and they're asking for information, say, hang on, I'll get back to you, hang up, and then call that agency yourself and see if it's legit. Because some people misrepresent. As far as folks maybe losing their express cards and things like this in a tornado, and they are wondering how are they, you'll have to get your replacement card if that's where you think your money's going, but you can go to irs.gov and register your bank account if you have one, or open up an account, and that money can go directly into that if you don't have a replacement card if you lost it in the storms. So that's something to do. Keep in mind, you only have till the 13th to update your information.
And that's tomorrow, right?
Well, that's right.
Yep.
Exactly. So today and tomorrow is what you have to get that done. Let's go next to Florence. Hi, Florence. Good morning. What's on your mind?
Yes. First of all, I want to thank you all for having a show like you have.
Thank you.
That's so informative.
That's nice.
And you've answered a lot of questions for me in the past that I had, but I never got the line before.
Oh, okay, good.
So I wanted to thank you for that opportunity.
Sure.
And the second thing is, it's about the property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that is going on, I just don't understand why it's going to happen now, because the property tax, the people that pay property tax, they need a rebound too somewhere along the way. And I don't know anything about value of property and things like that, but it seems like it's hitting a lot of the elderly people kind of very hard when they're already financially strapped.
Okay.
I mean, I'm one check from bankruptcy.
I understand. That's hard, man. But listen, and you own a home, I suppose, and you pay property taxes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. And I think that's a very fair question. I know you've heard that from a lot of people, but Yeah, the seniors, and we're talking again about a proposed 32% property tax increase, right? And that's not happened yet. It's not going to be approved, if it is, something until sometime in June.
Right.
But Jim, how do you answer folks like her? And she's the one that I really worry about. People like that. One check away and a little money taken away from here means less food maybe on the table or for her medicine.
So there's so much to talk about on this. And Florence, if you want, if you got a piece of paper, I'm going to give you my phone number. You can just call me directly, and then because it may take a little longer to explain all this stuff. It goes back a long time to how we got to this point. Our budget is supposed to be balanced. We took a tremendous hit economically. You know, the mayor, if you ask the mayor, he'll tell you he doesn't like this proposed property tax increase. I don't think anybody does. It's not like we're running around celebrating. Nobody likes this thing at all. But when you take that type of hit, a $330 million hit because of what's happening, you've got to come up with some way to make up the difference. It's actually more than that, but they figured out ways to bring it down to $330 million. That's why that property tax rate is so high. We worry about this.
Will there be help for seniors, Jim, to some degree? Something like this passes, whether it's 32 cents or something like 15, whatever. For seniors, you know, that are on a fixed income and they see their tax go up, will there be assistance there?
Yeah, so that's why I wanted Florence just to call me.
Okay.
It's 615-584-1082. You can call me 615-584-1082, and I can go through it. But if you forget all that, call the Metro Trustee's office, because they do have a program that will freeze certain people's property taxes for people who are older. So you should call them, the Metro Trustee. If you forget my number, go back to the mayor's office, call them. They can get you over to the trustee's office. This is like the worst of all possibilities. I mean, just think about what was going on. We knew it was going to be bad going in with this budget. We've been fighting for the last 2 years with the mayor's office to try to figure out how we could get back to where we should be. We had no reserves. We had limited funds, very small reserves, and then this thing happens. You get the tornado, and then you get the COVID-19, and then you just saw what happened with the power outages. I mean, we keep getting hit, but somehow we have to continue to operate as a city, and nobody wants to do this. I mean, if none of this has happened, we would probably be talking about a smaller property tax increase so we could start replenishing the funds that have been taken over the years and trying to get raises to people like the teachers, and figure out how to make our education system better. I know that sounds so cliche, but I mean, they're really seriously, people are trying to figure this stuff out. And then all this stuff happens. So, Florence, call me. I'm happy to walk you through it. But if you forget anything else, call the trustee's office and talk about their program.
Go next to Mike. Mike, good morning. Hi, Mike.
Hey, good morning. I've got a couple of things that are maybe a different take on this mask issue. Number one, I've seen a lot of people walking around with their little homemade masks on. They take a handkerchief or whatever, tie some strings to it, put it across. That's not stopping anything. And so, but it's just a psychological thing, I guess, for them. And my opinion is, our country is shut down. It's wrecked. And how long is this going to go on? Who's going to decide when or not you can take your mask off? Now when the experts, the so-called experts, said this is going to come roaring back again in the fall, so what are you going to re-shut down the economy in the fall, and we'll be wearing masks the rest of our lives? It's just ridiculous. And so, like I said, these people that are wearing their little homemade masks, it's not doing anything. And they're doing it because if you call Lowe's or you call Publix or Kroger's or any place that sells masks, surgical masks, you can't find them.
They're
gone.
They're out.
They're gone.
Yeah.
And they're out. And so what are you supposed to do? And so I got tested by my doctor. I'm negative. Yet I'm supposed to be falling around like the sheep. I'm the bad guy if I'm not wearing a mask. So since I can't find a mask, I'm not locking myself in the house anymore. I've been in it for 2.5 months. So something's got to change here. And number two, the number 2 person behind Fauci, I can't remember that doctor's name. she gave an interview to the Washington Post saying that she doesn't believe anything that comes out of the CDC anymore on these numbers of new cases and deaths. And so when you got the number 2 person who's so-called expert now saying this, I'm not sure who I trust anymore on any of this. It's really, really, we're going to turn ourselves into a police state where we're all tattletaling on each other.
It's really, I cut him off here because we just have 2 minutes to try to address some of his comments before you have to go. But it is hard for a lot of people to get hold of masks, so I hear what he's saying there. I don't like him referring to people that wear masks as being sheep. That's just flat wrong. I'm going to wear it. Someone wants to call me a sheep, I'm going to tell them, fine, have at it. Hope you don't get sick, buddy. But you can find ways to make masks that contain, even with material at home, a sneeze from going out. But he's right, they're not as good as the store-bought ones. But the bigger issue for me is what he says. So many people right now seem very confused about who to believe. And there's a lot of misinformation out there that is more comforting sounding to a lot of people. So they choose to believe that, and then they get very angry when they hear some of these other things that are a little more depressing. And to me, it just comes down to, if we start seeing more people dying, and if his mom dies, or my mom dies, or my child dies, is that what it's going to take to get our attention?
Well, let's hope it never gets to that point.
Well, it is for a lot of people. It's gotten to that point already.
Yeah, I think the point in terms of everything that Mike said, and I know the frustration, I know you're trying to figure out who to believe and who not to believe, but it was his point, at least in what he was saying, was, you know, are we going to be doing this again in the fall? I mean, seriously, what I would say, Mike, is I don't think you want to be doing this in the fall, neither do I. And so let people wear their mask. I would encourage you to wear your mask. You know, I know you got tested and you were negative. Great. But this thing is not, it's not like just because you get tested once, you know, you're negative. I mean, you could pick it up again. You could get sick at some future time. So take the precautions now, because I know you don't want to do this. I know you don't want to, you know, but I'm just telling you at this point, I know it's hard to pick who you believe, but I'm going to believe all the people who I have confidence in around here that say practice social distancing and just put on one of these things. Because again, Mike, if I'm here, you know, on MorningLine in the fall, I want to be talking about something else than whether we're going to be closing back down again. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate you coming on, as you have been, and I know you have to leave a little early. We'll take a break. There's some still on hold. We'll get to those calls and continue our conversation in the last segment, but we'll see you again next week, right?
You'll see me next week.
Vice Mayor, take care of yourself. Appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. We'll take a break and we'll come back. We'll comment more about what Mike was discussing. And as I said, I think he makes a good point in the frustration. And so I understand where he's coming from and not wanting to feel like he can't go out if he can't get a good mask. And I see that. And I don't think he should have to stay in. And I think we're opening things up. So go out. Just use some common sense and reasonableness. And look, I don't wear a mask everywhere I go when I'm out and about if I'm not around anyone else. But when I know I'm going somewhere to be around other people, I'm wearing the mask. And just so you know, it's not to protect myself. It's to protect others. Should I be asymptomatic, I don't want to give it to, you know, someone who's, you know, got an immune compromised system and it kills them. You know, that's why I wear it. And no one's going to stop me from wearing the mask. We'll take a break. I'll be back with more right after this.